All right, hold on. Monarch wasn't working last night, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it up today, but we'll see real quick. Good morning. You're listening to 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, the voice of Detroit. 1 minute after the hour of 6 a.m. I'm Martin Patton here with your traffic and weather. Let's take a look at the roads out there. There's a lot of construction and a few accidents to tell you about this morning. In Oakland, there's an accident on I-75 southbound at Lapeer, M24 exit, and it's stop and go traffic all the way back to Baldwin, and traffic is getting in the right lane, getting by on the right lane only. So police are on the scene there, so be careful as you go around that accident area. In road construction, Macomb, your road construction has the right lane closed at I-94 westbound at 23 Mile Road. The stop and go traffic is from New Haven Road exit. That's scheduled until 6:30 Friday morning. So if you don't have to go that way, please avoid it. In Flint, road construction has the right lane closed at I-75 northbound between Pearson, exit 22, and I-475. And that's going to be scheduled through September the 1st, and the right two lanes are going to be closed from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. nightly. And in Macomb Township, your road construction has the left lane closed at M59 eastbound between Romeo Plank Road and Elizabeth Street. And that's going to be scheduled from 9 p.m. until 8 a.m. All the way through Friday, which is August the 30th. So that should be wrapping up pretty soon here. In Windsor, you have delays up to 25 minutes for trucks at the Ambassador Bridge northbound between Canada and the U.S. In other traffic, in Macomb, you have stop and go traffic at M59 eastbound between Cass Avenue and Van Dyke Avenue. Detroit, you're looking at M8 Davidson Freeway westbound between Conant and I-75. In Southfield, the M10 Lodge Freeway southbound between 8 Mile and Greenfield Road is backing up. Michigan Avenue eastbound between I-275 and Hannon Road has Canton Township slow down there. Also in Canton Township, Michigan Avenue westbound between I-275 and Haggerty Road. Pittsfield Township, your slowdown is at Michigan Avenue westbound between Platt and State/Moon Road. Let's take a look outside. Right now outside is 64 degrees and mostly cloudy here in Detroit. Today we're looking at partly cloudy skies with a high of 81 degrees. Tonight we're going to be looking at scattered thunderstorms during the evening, partly cloudy skies after midnight at a low of 64 degrees. Friday the sun comes back, sunshine and some clouds, a high of 79 degrees. Friday night we're looking at a low of 58 degrees with partly cloudy skies. And on Saturday, some sun in the morning with increasing clouds during the afternoon. A slight chance of a rain shower, so if you're going to be picnicking, be aware of that. High of 73 degrees. Weather's been brought to you by Weather Vision, and the traffic's been brought to you by the Total Traffic Network. Coming up, our own urban conservative, Carrie Leon Jackson, right here on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, the voice of Detroit. I gotta find one that's in HD.
Good morning, Metro Detroit. This is Carrie Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Time now is 6:05. If you've got to be there at 7 o'clock, you've got 55 minutes to get there. You're listening to 9:10 a.m. Superstation, the voice of Detroit. The number here in the studio is 313-778-7600, 313-778-7600. Listen, many of you that paid attention the other day, you listened when Nurse Charles was here on Tuesday, and she basically lit into me and others about promoting chicken sandwiches. As you know, everybody in our community had gone out of their way to promote a chicken sandwich at one particular restaurant chain that somehow ran out of chicken sandwiches. I don't understand how you run out of chicken sandwiches, and making chicken is your job, but that's not our subject today. We spent the weekend chasing down the elusive chicken sandwich, which is not at all healthy for the members of our community, but it tastes so good. And I wanted to talk to you about, at least spend the first couple of minutes of today's show trying to use that same social media that we used to promote a chicken sandwich is not healthy for us, to promote some form of healthy eating. Listen, don't turn the radio, because this is not what we're going to talk about all hour. I know many of you are like, oh my God, no, he's going to talk about salad. No, we're not. But I've got a friend of mine, a young woman that I've watched grow up. She's a millennial. She started a Instagram page. It's called One Easy Recipe. For those of you that might not, you might wonder if, in fact, these millennials are always spelling things differently. If she spelled it different, anyway, it's One, O-N-E, Easy Recipe. And right now we're going to bring Ebony on. Let me talk to Ebony, and she can tell us a little bit about One Easy Recipe and eating healthy. Good morning, Ebony. How are you?
Holiday, man, and we'll talk at you later.
Thank you for having me.
So,
all right,
go ahead, introduce yourself.
My name is Ebony Sunday, and I started One Easy Recipe. The reason I started it is I thought I was healthy, but back in 2014 I got sick. I had to make some dietary changes pretty quickly. I was never much of a cook, and after doing some research, I found that there was a lot more things in food than I ever knew before, and I just began right there.
Now, let me just tell you this. The first thing that crossed my mind is, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, I've known Ebony mostly all of her life. I watched her grow up. I had absolutely no idea that she got sick back in 2014. So at 7:03, when I get off the air, I'm calling her mama and cussing her out this morning. But, and I don't know if your mom told you, I got sick back in 2008 and found out that I had to change my diet and that I had to learn how to eat healthy and stop eating fast food and things like that. And we don't talk enough about that in our community. And so I'm glad to know that you took the initiative to start the One Easy Recipe. Again, ladies and gentlemen, there's One Easy Recipe, O-N-E, Easy, E-A-S-Y, Recipe, R-E-C-I-P-E. It's an Instagram page. Ebby, do you also have a Facebook page or a website?
I do have a website, and I'm working on making it a little bit more user-friendly, and I will add an Instagram, or I will add a Facebook page, because I find that some of the people that I've connected with use that a little more than they do Instagram.
Yep. So tell me this. So, and if I understand this, correct me, because I'm the old school person and you're the millennial, and you're probably a lot more savvy at doing this. You add one healthy recipe every day?
I started by just doing one recipe every day. Now I add a recipe every other day, and then I'll do a cooking tip, and occasionally I'll put up a joke about cooking. But yeah, it's mostly recipes. And if anyone were to sign into the website and leave a message there, or leave a message or comment on the Instagram page saying recipes that they want to know more about, or recipes that they cook, I will be totally happy putting up a recipe that they know, or answering any questions they have about recipes, because I have contacts with doctors and lots of help people. And because of the amount of research I've done, I've made some connections that way. There's so many things I didn't know about food until I had to start learning it.
Until we learned about it. And but let me just say this. I'm glad you've learned at the age that you've learned, and I'm glad that you started the resource. And ladies and gentlemen, she's already put the offer out. If you even have recipes that you think should be shared online and that you want others to know about, recipes that you've already vetted, that you know that this is healthy food, not a recipe on the better way to fry chicken so that it'll be juicier and crunchier and lead us to heart disease much early in life. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for healthy recipes. We're looking to make sure that members of our community recognize that the way that we've learned to eat up to now is probably going to wind up killing us. And we don't want high blood pressure. We don't want hypertension. We don't want to have heart attacks at the rate that we've been having them. And so Abby had to get up early this morning to join me and tell me about it. And I believe, Abby, you're going to call back again next week. When you call me next week, do me a favor. Pick out 2 of your favorite recipes to tell me about when you call next week.
Bring them down here.
I will definitely do that.
All right.
Add that.
Go ahead.
Can I add that? To me, or I found after researching that nothing really tastes as healthy feels. And cooking at home, regardless of what you're cooking, is probably a little bit healthier than finding it at some establishment. Because at least you know what you put in your pots and pans.
There you go. I'm proud of you. Thanks, Abby. Enjoy your weekend. Call me next week. Call me next week with a couple of good ones. And then as often as you've got those recipes that you are excited about, that you've done the same thing, you've tested them, and you think members of our community need to know about it, get up early in the morning and call me, and I'll make sure that we pass the word along, okay?
I appreciate you having me, and I definitely do that. Speak to you again soon. Thank you.
One Easy Recipe on Instagram, and she will soon have a Facebook page, and they already also have a website. So tune in, go to One Easy Recipe, read the recipes, inbox her other recipes. If you've got healthy recipes, it's time to make sure that we use that same social media that you use to promote chicken over the weekend. We're going to use that same social media to promote healthy eating. And now, let me just at least tell you, Percy, we're coming to you in about 35 seconds. Let me just quickly tell, because I know that I see that Rick Ector is already up and ready to join me. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you the first thing that I wanted to talk about today. Last night, I watched the news. Now, let me just tell you this. I am very, very aware of the phrase that all money ain't good money. I understand that all money is not good money. I'm not saying that I always agree with it, but I understand that there's a time that, you might not want money that came from a source that's tainted. What I've never heard of in my life is all blood ain't good blood. We can't go over to a place and for a blood drive because we don't like what the business owners do or what they sell there. Understand this. If you watched the news last night, you've seen this ridiculous story. And I'm not saying that the story is ridiculous. I'm saying that this stands by somebody who, has some sort of ridiculous anal problem over at the Red Cross. There was scheduled a blood drive. Ladies, you know how hard it is to get blood. You know how often we have to try to convince Americans to go line up, roll up your sleeves, go through all of your fears and doubts and all that other stuff, and actually have blood drawn out so that when people need your blood in hospitals and in crisis situations, there will be blood available. And so there are always these blood drives all around town. And there was one that was scheduled at a gun range out in, I believe it's out in Huron Township. I'm not sure where it is. It's not inside the city of Detroit. It's out in the burbs. And let me just say this. If you get up, and one of the things that you do this morning, if you Google blood drive gun range, let me tell you this. There are a bunch of other stories that are going to come up because there are plenty of other gun ranges that have also held blood drives. And no one said, oh my God, no, we can't do that. However, here locally, a blood drive that was scheduled wound up being canceled because somebody at the Red Cross says, we don't like the fact that it's going to be held at a gun shop. Guns are valid, legitimate, legal promise to you in the Second Amendment. Now, let me just say this. Years ago, I was on the board of a organization in town, a foster care organization. I don't want to use the name right now, but those of you that have known me for a while know what this organization is. I wound up becoming the chair of the Detroit board of this particular foster care organization. One day, we received a donation, a rather huge donation. Turns out that the money had been raised by the strippers over in Windsor, Ontario. And they raised up all of the strippers in the strip club. Now, y'all know that, they're allowed to do stuff over in the strip clubs over in Windsor that they can't do over here. Well, okay, they do it. They just do it illegally over here. But they do those things legally over in Windsor. And apparently all of the young entertainers had decided that they were going to put part of their money into this pot and donate it to a charity. and they decided to donate that money to our organization. And the executive director of the organization called me because he said, he just wanted to bounce it off me. And the truth of the matter is, he had already decided that he was going to turn down the donation and return it before he called me. But he called me to ask my opinion, and I think he was looking for me to co-sign it. And I said, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It's money. They raised the money. They didn't do anything illegal for the money. They're going to use the money and give it to a good cause. You're a very well-recognized 501c3 that plenty of other people in town give money to. Take the money. He didn't agree with me. We went back and forth on this for a while, and I said, I understand this. And at that point in time, I was working in the public defender's office. I had represented people who broke the law. And I understand that you might not want to take money from the local pimp. You might not want to take money from Jody, the drug dealer, or anything like that. But from a legitimate organization that is doing something legit, when they raise the money and they give the money to charity, hey, I saw absolutely nothing wrong with it. Again, I understand that all money is not good money, and there are times that you might want to turn things down. But let me tell you this. Nobody who's laying on a hospital table, on a gurney in the hospital, is really, really picky about where the blood comes from, or was it raised at a blood drive that happened at a police station, in the lobby, over at the Caustic Center, which is where I've seen plenty of them since I've lived in the Farmington Hills. Nobody has ever said, oh my God, no. You mean you raised that blood in the lobby of a gun shop, and I'm here because I was shot with a gun? Oh my God, I can't understand. That is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. 313-778-7600. Tell me what you think. Tell me, do you think that is a legitimate reason for the Red Cross to say? Now, if you watch the story, you know that apparently after they originally had some concerns about it being in the lobby of the gun shop, they decided that they were just going to bring the Red Cross bus out and put it in the parking lot and have the folks go and roll their sleeves up and do the donations out in the bus, in the lot. And then still some bureaucrat at the Red Cross says that's not even good enough. We don't like the fact that they sell guns. Now, I understand this. They're not selling. This is not a take a gun and give it to a criminal sort of day. This is not a use the guns for an illegal purpose. It happens to be a gun shop, and simply because they sell guns, somebody at the Red Cross made the god-awful decision to say, we're going to cancel that blood drive. 313-778-7600. Tell me what you think. Before we go to break, I want to talk to Percy so he can tell us what's happening on September 21st and on September 25th. Good morning, Percy. How are you?
Hey, Ken. I'm doing good. September the 25th, we got Judge Thomas having a felony expungement job fair. I'm a little twisted because I wasn't prepared for that, Ken.
Here, I'll tell you what. Let me do it. If I mess up, you tell me. First off, September 21st, Saturday, September 21st, there's going to be a felony expungement fair from 1 to 3 at Biblical Faith Ministry, 20118 Schoolcraft. If you've got any questions, you can either call Percy or you can call Attorney Robin McCoy at area code 877. She got a toll-free number. Area code 877-769-0001. That's Attorney Robin McCoy, who I guess is the spokesperson for this felony expungement fair being held on Saturday, September 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. over on the west side at the Biblical Faith Ministry, 20118 Schoolcraft. Then, a few days later, 4 days later, on September 25th, there is going to be Brenda Jones's Skilled Trades Task Force is going to have a meeting over at Focus Hope. Focus Hope, the organization that puts plenty of people to work and has always been a beacon in our community for folks deciding that they want to go learn a new trade, that they want to transition from being unemployed into a new career. There will be a Skilled Trades Task Force meeting at Focus Hope on September 25th from 4 to 6 p.m. How did I do?
You did great. I just want to add on to use my number. I have no problem with using my number. It's in the public anyway. It dial 313-719-9921. Just text the word HELP with your first and last name and I'll respond back to you and help guide you and see which assistance that you might need with the sponsor or the skill trade task force meeting.
All right. Now,
Right.
now I need to take a break now, but hold on. When we come back, I want to talk to you about what you called for in the first place.
Okay.
All right. It's 6:20. You're listening to Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. We're going to take a very quick 3-minute break, and we'll be right back.
Is sponsored by Jorgensen Ford.
Turning in a Ford Escape lease? Lease a new 2019 Ford Escape for only $289 a month with $289 due. With a plan, 10,500 miles per year, 24 months, plus license fees, security deposit waived, expires August 31st. JorgensenFord.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London with A Place for Mom. Over the years, we've helped thousands of families find senior care, and today's senior living communities have never been better. With amazing amenities like movie theaters, exercise rooms, and swimming pools, public cafes, bars,
There you go.
even pet care services. And nobody understands your options like the advisors at A Place for Mom. Meet your local expert advisors that will partner with you to find the perfect place and determine the right level of care, whether that's just a helping hand or full-time memory care. Best of all, it's a free service. Call today. A Place for Mom. You know your family, we know senior living. Together, we'll make the right choice.
Call A Place for Mom right now to get our free ebook on
That was
financing
Stevie
senior
Wonder
care
playing
as
the
well as a
harmonica
free
on that
referral
track,
for
wasn't
senior
it?
living
That's what I
communities
thought.
in your area.
My
Call
boy wanted to argue with me. I was like, hey, Stevie Wonder. I was like,
He
man.
never saw the video. I said, they had Stevie at the original video.
Yeah.
Listen up,
So I'm
America.
like,
Are
you
you or a
can
loved
tell
one suffering with
Stevie
an
when he
addiction to
played.
alcohol,
Exactly.
opiates,
Real.
prescription painkillers, or other drugs? There is hope. Medication-assisted treatment is
Man,
proven
I'm
most effective for
still trying to
opiate addiction
hook
recovery, utilizing medication such as
Wait.
methamphetamine,
Wade
Suboxone,
McCree knew
and
about
Subutex.
he said, you talking about the 88-89 incident where the dancers and Jasons donated all. How he know? Wade, how you know? And why is your memory that good?
Man, he probably got his feet there, man. Standing ankle deep while he
There is nothing like being called out by Wade McCree at 6:22 in the morning.
Like, what is he doing up here?
Right.
I'm gonna hurry up and do the traffic because Isaac said we take too much time. He like, man, y'all take too much time.
Unless you in traffic and you like, oops, I need to turn so I don't get stuck. Then you think, I'm glad they did the traffic.
Right. Good morning. You're listening to 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, the voice of Detroit. 23 minutes after the hour of 6 a.m. I'm Martin Patton here with your traffic and weather. Let's take another look at traffic this morning. In Oakland County, that accident at I-75 southbound at Lapeer has been cleared, but it's still a lot of stop-and-go traffic all the way back to Baldwin Road exit. So be patient as that clears up and gets back to normal. Macomb Road construction has the right lane closed at I-94 westbound at 23 Mile Road. It's stop-and-go traffic all the way back to 26 Mile Road, but that's going to be scheduled until 6:30 a.m. on Friday. So not too long to wait on that one. In Windsor, delays up to 10 minutes on the Ambassador Bridge northbound between Canada and the U.S. for cars and trucks. Oakland, you have slow traffic right at I-75 southbound between 12 and 11 Mile Road. Also in traffic, in Oakland, there's an accident. It has the left shoulder blocked at I-275 after 696, the M5 and I-96 exit. Police are on the scene there, so be careful as they investigate that accident. Flint, you have road construction that's going to have your right lane closed at I-75 northbound between Pearson and I-475. That's scheduled through September the 1st, and the right two lanes are scheduled to close from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. nightly. Macomb Township, your road construction is happening at M59 eastbound between Romeo Plank and Elizabeth Street. That's going to have the left lane closed, and that's going to be scheduled from 9 p.m. to 8 a.m. nightly through Friday. So that project is going to wrap up very soon. Also in traffic in Oakland, you have stop-and-go traffic on I-75 between 14 Mile and 12 Mile Road. Macomb, your stop-and-go traffic is at M59 between Cass and Van Dyke Avenue. In Washtenaw, Michigan Avenue westbound between South Ann Arbor and Monroe Street is backed up. Washtenaw County, you're looking at Michigan Avenue eastbound between Monroe and North Maple/Old Creek Drive. In Detroit, the M10 lies between Jefferson and Woodward is starting to slow down. And in Southfield, the Lodge Freeway, 8 Mile and Greenfield, that is running slow at this time as well. In Monroe, you have stop traffic at I-75 northbound between the Ohio-Michigan state line and Summit Street. Let's take a look outside and see what the weather's doing. It's 64 degrees and mostly cloudy in the city of Detroit. Today we're looking at partly cloudy skies with a high of 81. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms in the evening with a low of 64 degrees. Sunshine returns on Friday with a high of 79 degrees. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low of 58 degrees. Saturday, the sun returns with some increasing clouds in the afternoon, high of 73 degrees. The weather's been brought to you by Weather Vision, and the traffic's been brought to you by the Total Traffic Network. Now, the second half of the Kerry Leon Jackson Show, right here on 9:10 a.m., the Superstation, the voice of Detroit.
Good morning, Metro Detroit. Once again, this is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. It is now 6:27. If you've got to be there by 7 o'clock, you've got 33 minutes to get there. Let me point out something if you haven't already heard. Beginning Monday morning, September 9th, immediately following my show, when I shut up and get off the air, legendary Detroit radio personality Coco has a brand new show coming to 9:10 a.m. Superstation. You'll be able to hear Coco each and every weekday morning, Monday through Friday, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., beginning right after the holiday. Monday morning, September 9th, right here at 9:10 a.m. Superstation, the voice of Detroit. Now, this morning I wanted to talk about this story that I saw on the news last night, where a gun range out in the suburbs had originally scheduled a blood drive. Blood drives are held because people need to have blood when they're in the hospital. Every hospital in town needs to have blood to use for transfusions during their surgeries. And we keep blood going, even though there are people trying to make bloods in labs all over the place. Blood comes from, the majority of blood, 99% of it, comes from human beings. Somebody has to donate it. And so there are always blood drives and they need people of all blood types, A, B, O, all, and the negatives and the positives. They need everybody to give blood so that there will be a full blood supply in every hospital whenever they need it. So they have blood drives all over the place. I have never in my life ever seen a blood drive be turned down because of the physical location of the blood drive. The blood drive was scheduled to be held at a gun range. Now, I'm going to tell you again, I discovered this last night when I Googled it. If, in fact, you Google blood drive gun range, you're going to see plenty of other stories where other gun ranges around the country have been the site, the location of an actual blood drive. And apparently they happened without there being a problem. There was one scheduled here in our area, here in Metro Detroit, and the Red Cross originally balked and said, nah, we're not going to have it there. We're going to bring a truck and we'll have, our little bus out in the parking lot. That's not the most ideal situation. You can't get as many volunteers on the bus as you want, but at least it's something. It would be an opportunity to still have a clean, sterile environment. People from the Red Cross there, all of them who are trained, phlebotomists, to know how to draw your blood and everything like that, in a sterile environment to draw your blood, take the donations, keep you safe. And apparently that was not even enough because it was still on the grounds of a gun range, and they canceled it yesterday. The Red Cross, our local Red Cross, the people that are always asking us for money for donation, actually decided to be so politically correct, so judgmental about the legitimate legal business that occurs with gun ranges selling guns, that they canceled the blood drive. And I originally told this story about, some strippers that had gotten together years ago back in the 90s and decided to raise some money, and that an organization that I was the chair of the Detroit board at that point in time, the executive director, had some problems with accepting the money because it was from strippers. And our own 910 AM Superstation's own Honorable Wade McCree, who I've also known for 30 years, decided to weigh in. He even remembers that incident. He remembers the name of the establishment. I have no idea why his memory is that good, but he remembered the name of the establishment, the amount of, and the fact that the money was turned down because of the type of organization the young ladies done. Now, as I've said earlier, I've heard and I've had people tell me plenty of times, all money ain't good money, and I understand that. There are times that you might not want to take money even for a charitable purpose from, criminals, from, drug dealers, rapists, robbers, murderers, thieves. Gotcha. But turning down blood because it happened to have been drawn out of somebody's arm, out of their veins, in the parking lot or in the lobby of a gun shop sounds like the stupidest thing that I've ever heard. No, okay, wait. There are plenty of stupid things that I've heard, and I talk about them enough here. But it is it's up there in the top 10 of the top 10 stupidest things that I've ever heard. 313-778-7600. Tell me what you think. I cut Percy off early when he was trying to tell me. So I'm going to go to Percy first, and then we're going to go to Reggie, and then we'll take the rest of your calls. Good morning, Percy. We're back.
Good morning, man. So I'm going to be quick. So I guess, doing the blood drive in the location where they're doing it, it's suspect to point to, okay, they say they're doing it because they have a concern of raising blood, which is a need, right? And I
correct.
Part. And it sounds like, well, maybe they're trying to help make a difference and help the community. But coming from that source, if they really want to help the community, and we're talking about guns, which is really a problematic issue right now with the capability of buying all types of weapons, multi-rounds of individuals are able to get to, stuff that's causing people to be killed and when the need of blood is needed, it seems like if they were truly concerned about helping individuals, they would also want to put in some sensible gun policy, and they would be concerned about that along with this.
But here's the thing, Percy. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, and just like Karen, just like now, man. Okay, so this weekend, man, both my daughters are getting ready to deliver some babies, and I'm waking up, and I'm real happy about that. And we were praying on it for the good deliverance and all that, and I know it's gonna be okay. But my mind is also saying, like, it's time that our world just starts doing stuff sensibly, and we really start putting in stuff that's going to help individuals be safe environment. I mean, my kids and your kids, when they go to school, they shouldn't have to be doing a drill where they we used to do a drill, tornado drill, and those kind of drills we should be doing. We shouldn't be doing drills where we got to worry about an individual coming in with a weapon that can go off a multi rounds and within a couple of seconds, you got several individuals that are injured and killed. So that's why you're getting a problem with individuals kicking back on this gun area, doing a drive, like they're saying they're concerned about people, but yet they aren't making any effort to do the real concern of where people are being injured and causing them to need blood.
But here's the thing. Nobody at the gun shop is standing in the way of sensible gun policy. Nobody who's going to go roll up their sleeve and donate blood is also saying, by the way, I'm going to go and legally purchase a gun and then do an illegal straw purchase and give it to some criminal on the street. No. The two things have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Criminals don't get guns from gun shops the legitimate way. They get them like they tried to get them out in Taylor last week. They break in and try and steal as many as they can, or they try other means to get their hands on guns that they shouldn't have in the first place. And I agree, there are plenty of laws. Arrest those people, do whatever you've got to do. Stop selling AK-47s and AR-15s. I've got all of that. But to say we don't want your blood, we don't want anybody going over to a gun shop to deliver blood. Look, if in fact, understand this, I'm against abortion, but if they held it in a abortion clinic, I could care less. Draw the blood. What difference does it make the location of where they're drawing the blood at?
Thank you for calling 910. Can I have your name?
Yeah, once again, it's not the problem of where they are drawing
Hey,
blood
good.
from.
Feeling, man.
And it's, okay, but so given that
Man, I'm
question,
tired, but
then you're concerned for individuals by drawing, by having the blood drive, right?
Right.
Man.
Right. So, and that's where you get the get back because of the challenges that we are facing with through the purchase of guns, to where individuals are being killed for guns. So that's,
But people being killed with guns has nothing to do with a blood drive.
Are you doing this because you're concerned, or are you doing this to kind of put a little, these gun places, they not that bad, which they're not that bad, it's okay to sell the kind of guns that they sell. I mean, they are doing the blood drive, so they do care. Now, if you really care, give me some concern about where you are really concerned about people purchasing all these guns that can kill individuals.
Boy, I don't know. I'm surprised. I mean, let me say this. I honestly am sitting here surprised that you actually are supporting no, we don't want to have it at the gun shop place.
No, I'm just saying it's just suspect. I'm just really suspect. Are you really doing this because you're concerned about people? Are you doing this just to take a little eat off of you, because of, where a lot of people are saying how we need to go after some of these gun laws and change some of the availability.
Going after gun laws, changing the fact that, crazy white kids are starting to get guns and go around the place, and they're not starting, they've been doing it for 25 years, and going around and killing the people at their school because their feelings are hurt. Understand this. When the guy that runs the gun shop, when he says, yeah, I'm going to do something good for the community, just like if he decides that he wants to put the name of the gun shop on the back of the kids' jerseys and sponsor the Little League team, are the parents going to say, nope, we're not going to play against that Little League team because they've got a gun shop name on the back of them? Guns are still a legitimate, legal, you can still own a gun in America. What good does it do? Why are we taking it out on the gun shops?
Well, Karen, you was Spin King Wizard, man.
Man, I got to do an invoice later, and I'm going to put that on the top of it. Spin King Wizard. Let me take some of these other calls, brother. Tomorrow, we out of here. All of us are closed down this weekend, so we out of here tomorrow and Monday for the holiday. So enjoy your holiday weekend. I'll be back in the studio Tuesday morning with Nurse Charm sitting with me. Okay?
Okay, man. Have a good one.
All right. Let's go to Reggie. Good morning, Reggie.
Hey, good morning, Kerry. All I have to say is Percy, he's trying to politicize the issue. Okay, I think if Percy looked at it from the standpoint of his daughters who are experiencing the family weight, if they were in the hospital and needed blood, hey, he wouldn't care if it was held at the grocery store, the church, the gun range, or anywhere else, as long as the blood was tested and the blood was, good blood.
Look, let me just say this. Martin just said this under his breath. I might be concerned if they were raising blood at the gay bar. Now, I just said it out loud. All of the gays are going to get mad and call in and say there's nothing wrong with our blood. I'm sure that there's not. But I would, if you told me that you were raised doing a blood drive at an AIDS clinic, I might be a little concerned. But in the lobby of a gun shop?
Here's the other thing, Kerry. The Red Cross and the Salvation Army, they need to look deep inside of their organization to see that, hey, the money that we raise for like that.
Should actually go to the disasters instead of into the salaries of the people at the organization.
Exactly. So, you know, this issue here about the gun range and the blood drawing is disingenuous. And whether the blood is given at the church, like I said, or the gun range, hey, it don't matter as long as it's good blood. While we're on this topic, Gary, Detroit is United LLC. We have a call to action September 7th from 2 to 5, Mary Grove College, Madam Cadillac Building, second floor chapel. We have to fight for quality of life improvements in Detroit. We have the solution about this dog fighting, this vicious dog issue in Detroit. We got to make the Detroit retirees whole, and we got this 2020 Detroit election coming up. And so we have the solutions. We like to have the citizens' engagement, and we want to hear your solutions. And we're also Detroit United LLC. You can follow us on Facebook now. So, hey, you guys have a great, safe holiday.
You too. Thanks for calling, Reggie.
Yep.
Let's talk to Curtis. Good morning, Curtis.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I'm gonna make this quick. I kind of agree with Percy. I know I kind of agree with Percy, and I agree with Reggie.
Boy, you can't be a fish rider today. You got to pick a side, brother.
Hey, Percy. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is my reason. Like you said, all money ain't good money.
Right.
All blood ain't good blood. Okay, so I agree with Percy because why is he doing it? If it's genuine, I'm in on it. But you're not telling the whole story.
Curtis, you and I have been to the hospital before. Those little bags when they bring them in, they ain't nothing wrote on that bag to say this was raised at this particular location.
He's giving away a gun at the blood drive. He's giving a pistol away.
He's giving away a gun.
Yes.
See, that part of the story I didn't see last night, but then
That's what I'm saying, Kerry. That's why I agree with Percy. What is your really intention? If your intention is to help people, well, that's all good. But what is your really intention? Is it to give away a gun? Is it to sell guns at your gun shop so somebody can come in and buy a 100-round clip and then go out to State Fair and kill up everybody? What is your intention?
Boy, I hope you didn't just give an idea to some crazy white kid who's been bullied as a child. Okay.
But no, but you understand what I'm saying? I kind of agree. You know, I'm torn between Reggie and I'm torn between Percy, but I'm leaning toward Percy because it's your intention. If your intention is to really help people that need the blood, I'm okay for it. But is that really your intention? Because on TV this morning on Fox 2 News, they talked to the gun owner. He said, well, I was giving away a gun. I said,
That interview obviously came on after I got in the car, but I'm still sitting here trying to figure out if I care if he giving away a gun. I'm sitting here that if I'm on the table at the hospital and I need to make sure that they've got some very clean type A positive blood, which is what I am. I don't want them putting any O or any of that other stuff in me. I'm not trying to get poisoned and die. I want A positive blood when I'm there. And I could care less if they raised it at, the strip club, if they raised it at a brothel. I could care less where they got it from as long as it's clean and it's not going to give me AIDS or anything else.
I see my point or Percy's point. That's all I'm saying.
Your point is he doing this as a out of the kindness of his heart as a service to the community, providing a location where people can get to, or is he doing it to get to?
You riding on the back of that. See, it's a difference. It's what's in your heart. Okay, I can give away this blood because people like Kerry say they don't care where it come from. But that was not really what's in my heart. What's in my heart is I want people to come to my gun store and buy some guns because I'm giving away one because of this good project of giving blood to people who need. You know what I'm saying? It's your intention, Kerry. That's all I'm
But
saying.
even with that, I'm with you on if he has got a corrupt purpose, and if his purpose is simply he don't really care about any of the other stuff. He just wants the name of his gun shop to be known and talked about, which is what he's getting right now. But I don't even remember the name of the gun shop, so he's not getting that much free press. But if in fact his purpose is, I want people to know that my shop is here, I want them to know the name of it, I want them to believe that I'm a good corporate citizen, yeah, all right. But here's the thing, the one thing that I guess I know a little bit more about is blood. We get shortages of blood quite often every year in this state. And it gets to that point because, there are seasons when people are, they really, really feeling good and they like, I want to go give blood and things like that. And so they schedule them and they never, ever have enough. And no matter how many they schedule, if you go by any of those blood drives, when you see the cameras there, the cameras are starved waiting on somebody to actually walk in and so that they can actually film somebody giving blood. A lot of them, unless it's scheduled, unless you told the police officers and the firefighters, we're going to be at this location from 9 to 1 and we need all of you to get over there. A lot of those blood drives are sitting there empty. So they schedule these blood drives and we still wind up in a position where the hospitals are sitting there calling around saying, we need O negative, we need O negative. How come we can't find it? Or it's got to be shipped from Ohio or something like that. So it's going to take longer to wind up doing the surgery. We shouldn't be in that position. We should be in a position where we've got plenty of blood for every hospital, no matter what happens.
One thing I want to say, and I'm done. Timing. Maybe the timing wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? Because of these mass shootings, maybe because it's a gun shop, the timing of the event, that has a lot to do with it too. You know what I'm saying?
But even if he put it off 2 weeks, between now and 2 weeks from now, unless they do something to get all of the guns off the street, some crazy kid is going to do something with it.
This is a very sensitive subject at this point. And and I know. Let's be honest.
I agree with you that it's sensitive because, as I said yesterday, it hurt my heart to have to sit down with my teenage son the other day and go online and try and find a bulletproof backpack before he goes to school next week. I honestly, and I mean, I am just at a point where I'm going to be scared every single morning when I take him there. I'm looking, at everybody that walk in that door trying to figure out which one is the crazy white kid. And because I don't want nothing happening to my child. And I know that every parent that's got to go drop their kid off or trusting their kid to get on the school bus, this year we're gonna have more of a knot in our stomach because our politicians have not done anything at all to save our kids. So I realize that it's a sensitive issue, but at the same time, taking it out on the man at the gun shop because he said, yeah, y'all can use my location. Come on. Y'all use my location. Y'all can bring all of the cots here, set them here. We'll try and get some members of the general public to come in. We're going to tell our customers, come on by here. And he promoted it. They put the signs up. He told all of the customers, come in on such and such date. This is when we're going to have the blood drive. And for the Red Cross to say, he sells guns there. We're not going there. And that is beyond politically correct. That is to the point of, I don't know that I agree. I know that you and Percy agree with it, but I'm sitting there saying, how can you say no to blood? Who says no to blood?
It's more to it than that, though. It's just more. You are right. When you present it that way, you're right. Okay, you're a lawyer. You know how to present things. But there's more to it than just that. That's all I'm saying.
But Percy just said, I'm the spin king. All right?
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend. I'll talk to you later. Let's go to Rick. Good morning, Rick. How are you?
Hey, man, I am great today. How are you? You know what? I was really just going to just kick back and just work on my laptop and just listen to the show and not call in. But you know what? Y'all went ahead and took a gun topic, and y'all went ahead and had callers on there who took a different approach and a different opinion from me. So I'll say, hey, as a firearms instructor, I'm here to tell you and everyone else that's listening, don't confuse or combine the issues. I mean, yeah, it's at a gun range, but like you said, man, if it was at a strip club, it's at a bar, it's at a brothel, it's at a church, it's a worthy cause. There's so much of a need in the general community, in the state, throughout the country for blood. I mean, I can't imagine why people would take this opportunity to rail against guns. They're just people who are just against guns, man. And you know what? I get it. But when you look at the greater good that can be done, why would you want to stand in the way of that? And you know what? And here's the one thing that I wanted to try home. As a gun professional, as a avid shooter, had I known that there was a blood drive at a gun range, I would have went and donated blood. And you know what? I'm O negative, which is like
very rare. Right.
Which is the rare. Well, it's not rare. It's like the universal donor.
You're the one that you're right. You're the one that everybody wants.
Right. So, you know, I would have loved to have gone, did a good thing, and looked around. You know, I probably wouldn't have.
But see, Rick, that's the way it's supposed to work. When you have them there, then you reach a different market of people. You reach those people that would go to gun shops. If you have it out at the Harley Davidson dealer, you're reaching bike riders. If you have it over at, GM Ford or Chrysler plant, you're reaching plant workers. In order that's what goes into it when you try to plan on where are we going to go to get what universe of customers are we going to go after so that we can get the biggest bang for our buck. We're going to send a crew over there. Where can we raise the blood?
Unfortunately, you deal with the news. You listen to the news every day. I mean, you know what state we're in with regards to crime. Some of the things that we hear in the media, man. And I'll tell you what, gun ranges are very popular places these days. Sad to say, but you know what? If it gets a flood of people, in who are privy to this promotion and they're willing to donate for the cause, man, why not? A lot of people can't separate the issues. A lot of people just want to be so politically anti-gun that they're just going to totally overlook all the great things that can be done. I heard you mention someone was Reggie was called in about the dog problem. I have a solution about that dog problem, right? You know what? A dog is trying to maul you and kill your 9-year-old or to attack anyone else. I hate to say it, for all the dog lovers out there, but you know what? Shoot it if you have to.
But Rick, you also have left something out. Ladies and gentlemen, see, when I was discussing the money from the strip club, Rick said on Facebook something about how you should treat the money. So go there by you sharing your opinion, brother. Share what you wrote.
Look, I was, tongue in cheek and was being facetious, but you know what? I was still, halfway serious, man. You're in the strip club, no telling where that money went. I'm going to put your gloves on and take that money. You know what I'm saying? Take that blood.
Look, if you in the strip club and they
look at all the good that you can do with it.
I agree with look at the good you can do with the blood, but at the same time, I look at the good you can do with the money if they donate it to a charity. I could care less where it came from. And when I used to represent criminals, I picked up money that always had all sorts of smells and look. Let me tell you, the one thing that I never knew.
It's bad if it's the odor and the scent was that.
Man, let me tell you this. There was one night, and this happened on more than one occasion, when I went out late at night to go pick up some cash from a client. And when I walked back in the house, the smell from that cash, because it smelled like drugs, because they had been, consuming drugs very heavily in the car apparently, and for reasons I never knew this until I started representing criminals. That once that smell sets on the money, I used to have to take the money and put it in the thing and sit it outside on the porch and just let it air out for a day or so before.
I had a situation. I rented a car from her, so I was going out of town, man. So I picked up a rental, and the guys who had rented this car had that new powerful weed in like this lock box that looked like an attaché case.
Okay.
And they had the weed in an attaché case, but they had it inside the car. That whole car was reeking of this strong marijuana odor, and they were balking at this $300 reconditioning fee that they were going to be assessing. That weed is very pungent. It has a very strong odor to it. I guess that's some indicator of its potency and effectiveness, man. But hey, it's legal, and if you can do it responsibly, and if you don't damage someone's property or, you know, offend the olfactory senses of people who are renting cars, have at it, knock yourself out, just be responsible.
There you go. Enjoy your weekend, brother. Thanks for calling.
Enjoy your weekend too, man. I tried not to call, man, but y'all brought up guns, so you know Rick's gonna call, man. Thanks for taking the call, man.
You bit. I threw the bait in the water and you fell for it. Enjoy your weekend.
I'm up, you know, and I'm like hungry. I probably would have came in had you said something if I knew you were talking about guns.
I say.
Because, you know, the little breakfast spot is right down the street. You know?
There you go. I know. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you next week.
Weekend,
all right. It's almost 6:56. I'm almost out of time. Next up after I'm done today is 9:10 a.m. live. You can hear Martin saying it over there because he thought I wasn't going to get it right. It's 9:10 a.m. live for the next 2 hours. Call in to 313-778-7600. Share your opinion. Talk about what's going on in our city. Find out what's going on in the city that you might not know about. But don't forget, starting Monday morning, September 9th. Now, not this Monday, because this Monday we're out of here because it's a holiday. But I will physically be back here Tuesday morning at 6 o'clock, sitting here in the studio with Nurse Charms. So all of y'all that only call me when Nurse Charms is here, she will be here with me Tuesday morning, the day all of the kids go back to school after Labor Day. The following Monday, September 9th, from 7 to 9, each and every day, Monday through Friday, you will be able to hear the legendary Coco, very well known in Detroit, very well known in Detroit radio. She is joining the 9:10 a.m. Superstation family, and there are a lot of other changes that I think you'll be excited about here at 9:10 a.m. Superstation. Stay tuned. Every day we're adding something new and exciting so that we can grow the market and you'll learn to love 9:10 a.m. Superstation. This is Kerry Leon Jackson, your urban conservative. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Don't complain too much about the traffic. And when we come back next week, we'll, hopefully by then we'll have a budget. And if not, we'll talk about your governor and the roads. 313-778-7600 in a few minutes for 9:10 a.m. live. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you next week.